Howdy folks, and welcome to this episode of Bret and Becky. Today we're going to be reviewing this Biolite stove. This stove is geared toward preppers, survivalists, people who like to do really primitive camping, and it has a special feature that other wood stoves don't have. We got the Midnight Edition, which comes with a grill, and we're going to be using the grill in this video. I've seen a few reviews of this stove online, and everybody just boils a little water and pours it in a dehydrated meal or makes a cup of coffee. Well, I've used this a time or two already, and I've actually cooked a meal in it. You can cook a meal in it. But the stove comes with two carrying bags. The main carrying bag, everything fits down in it, including this handy little USB camp light that plugs into the stove's rechargeable battery, and the stove actually recharges its own battery. It does come with a USB cord, so you can charge cell phones and stuff with your wood stove. And it comes with all kinds of instructions, which we kind of looked at. But inside the main bag, you have this really nice pot. And a lot of people who did reviews, they complained that they couldn't use their camp cook systems that they already had on the stove. Well, this pot is designed to work with the stove, and it works really, really good on the stove because this part fits down in the stove and it can still get air through these holes on the pot. But I used another pot that it was just an Ozark Trail pot that I got at Walmart, and it has a couple bowls and stuff with it, and it worked just fine too. It just sits on top of the stove. It also has a little bowl in it, and of course the lid, and this is all made out of nylon so you don't get burned on it. It has really nice fold out handles to keep you from getting burned. I'm not going to be using this today though, but I will show you how it fits on the stove. Okay, the stove itself comes down inside of a second carrying bag that fits inside the pot, so it's easy to carry. And it has this rechargeable battery that fits down inside the stove. And this battery has a thermoelectric generator on it. I've heard other people call it all kinds of things. But what this actually does is it generates power and recharges the battery so that you can charge cell phones, and it keeps the battery recharged. And it has a little fan in it that blows on your fire to keep your fire burning. And it clips in place with the leg. You just put it on there and then fold the leg out, and that holds the battery secure and the fan secure so that it will blow on your fire. This pot that comes in the stove fits right on top of the stove, and it fits really secure. Of course, it's made for the stove, so it would work best with it. But like I said, any pot that will fit on top of this, and I have another little mess kit too that has a frying pan in it. It works fine on this. It sits right on top of this, and the fire can still get plenty of air through here. As long as your pot's big enough to fit over top of these and not down inside of them, it'll work with this stove. Okay, now the grill, I've never used the grill. It comes with a grill cover, and you take the bottom off first and then snap the top off. Fold the legs out and make sure they're locked in place, and then it sits on top of the stove exactly like the pot did. Now it has a kind of a special feature. You can keep loading the stove with the grill on it. You don't have to take the grill off to reload it. So I think you could probably cook some pretty big stuff on here. Like I said, I made a meal in the pot and it worked just fine. But you do have to take the pot off to put more wood in the stove. With the grill, all you have to do is lift up this little cover and you can keep stuffing wood in the stove and keep it burning. So we need to get a fire going in this. Now, something to keep in mind, you want to gather plenty of wood before you start, because you're going to have to feed this the whole time you're cooking. And you want to start with fairly small stuff like anytime you're building a fire. But when you're building a fire in this, it's going to start burning on the top and then burn down to the bottom. So you want your teeny tiny little stuff up on the top. You don't want to pack it real tight, but you do want to fill it fairly full. You can start this stove with paper, leaves, wood shavings, whatever, and you can burn any natural tinder in it. It comes with this little pack of pressed paper, fuel. You're not supposed to burn things like esbit in it though. These stoves, of course, like with any fire, the hardest part of cooking on it is starting the fire. It does take a minute to get the fire started, like any fire. You need to have tinder prepared. You need to have plenty of fuel ready to keep loading it and add to it. But, you know, after a couple minutes, you've got a fire in it big enough to cook on. And it doesn't take a lot of fuel to cook in it because it's such a concentrated little fire. Right now, the fan is on high, and you can see the flames are pretty high too. The fan kind of, well, that's low. It was kind of on medium, sorry. But the fan controls the flames. Okay, let's get our grill sitting on here. Now, it does have nice wide legs to make it stable, but they're not adjustable, so you have to kind of turn it so that it'll sit level or close to level. So today I'm cooking a couple good-sized hamburgers on here. These are about 1/3 of a pound each. I'm interested to see what the grease is going to do to the fire, because some of the grease is going to run down in the fire like it does with any fire. You can hear them instantly sizzling, so I'm certain it's going to cook. There's a USB port in the bottom of the battery pack that goes on the stove. And to charge your cell phone or anything else that charges by USB, you just plug in the cord that comes with the stove, and then you plug it into your device. You can see it lit up. It's charging. The phone is at 58% right now, and we'll see how much it charges in the time that it takes to cook these hamburgers. What makes this stove different from other stoves is that a thermoelectric generator in there actually produces power, which keeps the battery charged, it keeps the fan running, and you can charge, like I said, other electronic devices like your cell phones. If you're traveling by motorcycle, you could even recharge your helmet intercoms. In a survival situation, you could recharge two-way radios and things like that. Hey, I'm going to check on these. They've only been on here a minute, but I'm definitely getting some cooking on the side next to the fire, more so than I am on the other side. The grease is starting to cause some minor flare-ups up here, but I kind of expected that. And what I'm going to do is just rotate my hamburgers so that the hot side is away from the stove, and the other side where it's not cooked as much as it's over toward the stove where the fire is. The hamburgers are definitely ready to flip. They're nice and brown. They look like a hamburger that's been cooked on a charcoal grill or a gas grill or any other kind of grill. I definitely have a lot of flame ups because of the open fire and the grease in the hamburgers. Now these are 80-20 brown cuts, and I certainly wouldn't recommend anything any fattier than that on this, or it would probably just burn it right up. And these I'm having to watch pretty close, but as far as a grill goes, it's working pretty much like any other grill. Our hamburgers have only been on about 10 minutes, so they're cooking really, really fast. And I like my hamburgers well done, so it is going to be kind of a trick to get them well done in the middle without burning them on the outside. I bet this thing would cook a steak really, really nice. One of these is slightly smaller than the other one, and I'm sure that it's probably done inside. Maybe just a little bit longer. The inside's still a little pink, so this one over here is not quite ready yet. Like I said, if you like the medium hamburger, medium rare, this would probably be about the point you would want it at. And it took less than 15 minutes on this grill to get it here. The phone is already up to 67%, and it's literally just been a few minutes. We can check the time on the video and post it on here when we edit the video. But 10% in just a few minutes is pretty good. I've slid the hamburgers over a little bit, and I'm going to toast our buns a little. And buddy, that toasts quick. Okay, so I got us 2 1/3-pound hamburgers cooked in less than 20 minutes. They're well done. I managed to cook them without setting them on fire or burning them to a crisp. I even grilled our big onion buns. It did take maybe 5 minutes to get the fire ready to start. From a cook's point of view, I love this stove for picnics and stuff like that, like when we take the John boat out, or if we were just going to take the motorcycle out and do a picnic or something. I'm not sure I would want to go to the effort every single night if we were taking a long motorcycle trip or a long backpacking trip or something like that. But if you're really into primitive camping, as far as weight goes and stuff, if you were going to buy a stove that would burn wood to use when you were camping, I think this would be a great option because it also allows you the ability to recharge cell phones, GPSs, two-way radios, all that stuff. You don't have to carry extra battery packs or maybe solar generators or anything like that. Everything is in this stove, and it's got the grill, which is really cool. If you want to see videos of this stove boiling a pot of water, there's tons of those on the internet. That's why I decided to do the grill and cover the cell phone charger and stuff like that. Before we end this video, I want to show you how the fan controls the flame. Right now it's on low, and it runs on low anytime you have fire in it. That's kind of to help keep the battery cooled off, I think. And it also keeps your fire burning, but it has several speeds, and as you turn it up, There's one. You can see the flames getting higher, and of course the fire's hotter. There's the third speed. That's the fourth speed. And we're back down to low. When you set this up, especially on a windy day, you want to make sure that your battery pack is on the side of the stove that the wind is coming from. Because if the wind is blowing across the stove, especially if you have that pot on there, it will blow the flames out from under the stove and they will scorch your battery pack. As far as the phone charger and stuff like that goes, that thermoelectric generator really produces a lot of power. It will charge a cell phone pretty quick. And that's kind of the gist of the stove, what it does. Like I said, you can check out water boiling videos all over the internet. For a picnic or a one-day excursion, I like it, but for every night, it is a little bit of work, and it does have to be cleaned up when you're done. That's a pretty good mess there to clean up. But we really appreciate you joining us. Please click like and subscribe before you leave. We'll have a lot more camping videos, motorcycle videos, boat videos, all kinds of stuff. God bless y'all. We'll see you next time.